welcome everyone to my channel. If you haven't been here before, pull up a seat, sit down. We are going to do our reading wrap-up of July 2026. And these are the books I technically read in July of 2026. Now, why do I say technically? It's because I actually started reading The Hobbit, and I finished The Hobbit in June. And then I started The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring in June, and I finished it in July. And I just finished The Outlander in August. Now, the reason why this happened is because these audibles were like 20 hours long, and one of them was 32 hours long. So I had a 32, a 22, a 21, and a 20-hour audible, plus this one was a 10-hour audible. And I didn't physically read but 2 books out of the whole thing. So, out of all of them, I only physically read 2 of them in July. The rest of them, I audio listened to. And let me tell you, trying to figure out how to audio listen to like them while being in the whole of July was impossible. So I had to figure out a way to do it to where it would be still read, but less me listening for 5 hours a day type of thing, because that's what I had to have done if I was just going to get it all done in July. So I just said no, 5 hours of listening, especially during the week when I have other things to do and I had to have to do recordings on the weekend. I'm just like, that's just physically impossible for me to do at the moment. So I'm just like, I gotta switch it up. And so I've read them all 2 hours a day, 1 hour a day type deal things to get it constrained down to a point where I could just do what I needed to do while also getting my audio listening. June, I did end my listening of audio early, and in August, this is technically my only audible out of all the books I'm reading for August, so I had plenty of time to put in The Outlander at the end and be like, yeah, I could read Outlander throughout most of August and still listening to The Age of R.R. throughout the rest of August. So I was just like, that's what I'm going to do. So technically some of these I didn't finish in July, but they're still technically part of the July TBR. The first one, of course, is A Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. It is badly damaged. I can't help with you that. I normally would read the passage explaining what this is, but it's The Hobbit, or There and Back Again. And it's about Bilbo Baggins joining a crew of dwarves that are trying to get back their mountain from a dragon and get their treasure out of it. And how he gets his hands on the ring, how he meets Smeagol, which is Gollum, because that's just what he says when his throat's up, and how he survived it and came home. That's basically what this is about. So what made me read this book? Well, I've been wanting to read The Hobbit to see if I could be into J.R.R. Tolkien's world of Middle-earth. And I gotta tell you, I'm actually, so this is what started fantasy off with. It wasn't really my cup of tea. So, while it was good for what it was, I didn't enjoy it near as I thought I would. But that's one of the reasons why I read it. And I also read it for July, for a viewer. Like I said, I read the back of this, but I can't. This is actually the prequel to the Lord of the Rings series, which is technically 3 books. Well, technically 1 book split up into 3 books anyways. What did I think about the book? It was okay for what it was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the person audio reading this. The person who did the audio book was very good at it, and I gotta tell you, like, he was spot on for all of his words and everything. So that was a very interesting listen, and I guess that's why I continued reading them, was because the person who did the audiobook was very good at it, and that's really the only reason why I continued. Did this live up my expectations? No, I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I thought I would. So I'm guessing J.R.R. Tolkien is not really for me as a person, and I'm sad to see that. But should you go read this story/series? Yeah, if you actually like the Lord of the Rings movies, because I did like them. And reading the books and always getting more details for them is good. So if you want to read it, yeah, go ahead and read it. I don't know what else to say about that. This here is The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, The Fellowship of the Ring. I'm actually going to sit there and just talk about all three of them at once. Why? Because that's just the way it's going to go. So the first one, which is The Dark, Fearsome Ring Rats are searching for a hobbit. Frodo Baggins knows that they are seeking him, and the ring he bears, a ring of power, that will enable the Dark Lord Sauron to destroy all that is good in Middle-earth. Now it is up to Frodo and his faithful servant Sam, with a small band of companions, to carry the ring to the one place it can be destroyed, Mount Doom, in the very heart of Sauron's realm. So that's what happens in the Fellowship of the Ring. And then with the Return of the King, or the Two Towers, I should say, the Fellowship is scattered. Some brace hopelessly for war against the ancient evil Sauron. Others must contend with the treachery of the wizard Saruman. Only Frodo and Sam are left to take the One Ring, ruler of the accursed rings of power, to be destroyed in Mordor, the dark realm where Sauron is supreme. Their guide is Gollum, deceitful and obsessive slave to the corruption of the ring. And then it leads into the Return of the King. While the evil might of the Dark Lord Sauron swarms out to conquer all Middle-earth, Frodo and Sam struggle deep into Mordor, seat of Sauron's power. To defeat the Dark Lord, the One Ring, ruler of the accursed rings of power, must be destroyed in the fires of Mount Doom. But the way is impossibly hard, and Frodo is weakening. Weighted down by the compulsion of the ring, he begins finally to despair. This is technically all one book. What makes it even weirder is that these are actually split into like 3 books or 2 books in each one. So it's like, I don't really understand the concept of it, but like this is book 1 and book 2. This has got book 3 and 4, and this one's got book 5 and 6 in it. So like, is it a 7-book series technically, or is it really just a 2-book series? That's the real question in my lovely thing, because I'm just like, I understand it's a thick boy, but technically these are novellas more than anything, because they're just 6 books put into 3 books instead. What made me read this series? I have actually watched The Lord of the Rings, all the movies. My mom loved them, so I did watch them with her, and I liked them. I enjoyed them, but I never really remembered anything from them really all that much. I didn't really remember anything, so they didn't really have a big impression on me. And though these books are more detailed, they still didn't leave that much of an impression on me. So I'm going to say I didn't enjoy them nearly as much as I thought I would have. So I don't really know if I want to call this part of a series or if it's all just one book. I don't know. But it's Lord of the Rings. Take it for what it is, okay? What did I think of the books? Well, in the first one, I thought it took them forever to get to Rivendell and start the actual journey in putting the Fellowship together, only for it to literally fall apart within like the last couple pages of the book, which is really weird. And in the Return of the Two Towers, I can understand why it's called the Two Towers, but you don't meet one of the towers until towards the middle of the book, and the second one is like in the beginning, and then one of them is conquered in this book, and the other one is not, because it's conquered in this one. And then the Return of the King is basically Aragorn becoming king after they defeat Sauron and everything. Saruman and Sauron. Yeah. So I mean, that's basically what they are. Did this live up to my expectations? For what I remembered, yes. Though I did have at one point a whole question mark on something that I read, and I was like, wait, what? I didn't think that happened. as far as my recollection of the movie goes. And then I was like, okay, yeah, no, I just didn't remember that this happened in the movies. So, there's that. Should you go and read this whole series, story/series? My answer is, if you like the J.R.R. Tolkien movies, yeah, go ahead and read them. They're much more detailed than what I would think. They're definitely way more detailed. They're freaking thick-ass boys, okay? And they're enjoyable for what they are. If you want to listen instead, go ahead and listen, because I listened to them all, finished them, because like I liked the person who was narrating. That's basically all it was. The narrator was what kept me listening to them, or I would have probably DNF'd at The Hobbit, to be truthful. Alright, so the two books, one of the books that I actually read, The Hollow Needle by Maurice LeBlanc, is part of the Arsène Lupin series. What made me read it? A continuation of the Arsène Lupin. I have actually been enjoying the Arsène Lupin series by Maurice LeBlanc. The translations are actually pretty good. And this is actually a novella, a full-blown novella instead of a short story. And that was a surprise to me, but also very, very fun to read. So, a secret of Marie Antoinette that lay hidden in the folds of a book for years. A series of carefully planned and executed thefts at a castle. The abduction of Raymonde, a young aristocratic woman. The hidden and fiercely guarded secrets of the treasures of the kings of France. What ties all these threads together? The gentleman burglar Arsène Lupin has to deal with not one, but two formidable adversaries. The celebrated detective Holmlock Shears, and an incredibly clever schoolboy, Isidore Bouterat. With double trouble at every turn, will Lupin be able to outwit them? Who among them will discover the secret of the Hollow Needle first? Does Ganimard manage to foil Lupin's plans when he joins hands with the talented schoolboy? Has Isidore taken on more than he should have in his young life? I love Isidore Bouterat, and I gotta tell you, I'm hoping he comes back in more of the books in the future for Arsène Lupin. I am like praying he's in more of them, because he is a great adversary to Arsène Lupin and can replace Holmlock Shears completely. Like, this is the best adversary for Arsène Lupin. I loved reading about him, and his way his thoughts broke down was great and beautiful, and it was just really good. Okay, this is part of a series called Arsène Lupin. This is the third book in the series, and there's like a lot of them, but I don't have as many translated. I mean, I do still have several more to go, so I'm interested to continue, and I am so excited for it. So what did I think about the book? I love the fact that it was a full-blown novella. They gave me so much more in depth about Arsène Lupin and the way the world works, and it was just great. Did this live up to my expectations? It succeeded it, because I thought there was just going to be a bunch of short stories that were unrelated. No. They're all, it's one book, it's one series, and it's one story, and it's just, that makes it really good in my book, and I'm really glad that I've gotten my hands on it, and I read it, and I just cannot wait to read more. So should you go and read the story/series? Yes! If you like Magic Haito, Phantom Thief 1412 from Goshio Ayomi, if you like Detective Conan, if you like Sherlock Holmes, you are going to like Arsène Lupin, because his gentleman thiefly ways is wonderful. And if you like the cartoon Arsène Lupin, read the book that inspired it. Read the book that inspired it, okay? Read. That's my suggestion there, okay? My last physical book that I read for July is called The Darkest Night by Gina Showalter. Or is it Showalter? What made me read this book? I read the prequel, and I really liked it, so I wanted to continue it. So that's what I did, basically. His powers, inhuman. His passion, beyond immortal. All her life, Ashlyn Darrow has been tormented by voices from the past. To end the nightmare, she has come to Budapest seeking help from men rumored to have supernatural abilities, not knowing she'll be swept into the arms of Maddox, their most dangerous member, a man trapped in a hell of his own. Neither can resist the instant hunger that calms their torments and ignites an irresistible passion, but every heated touch and burning kiss will edge them closer to destruction in a soul-shattering test of love. This was very good, and I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to continue on with the Lords of the Underworld, because, oh boy, very, very interesting setup, premise, and everything, going from gods to titans to these being warriors that were created to fight for the gods, who are being punished for something that one of them did, and it's just like chef's kiss, chef's freaking kiss. Okay, so what did I think of the? Oh wait, this book is part of a series. This book is part of an 18-book series. Surprisingly, I don't actually know how many books are based for like the boys, because there's like a lot of them, but I don't think there's like nearly as many as for 18 books. So maybe we're gonna have future people, maybe they have kids, I don't know. We'll get into that hopefully in the future. So what did I think about this book? I loved it, and I can't wait to read more of it. I really can't, and it's going to be glorious reading more of this whenever I get a chance to. But it's possible that this won't be until December, maybe? Did this live up to my expectations? Yes, it did. I figured it would, and I was hoping it would, because I read the prequel, and yes. Should you go and read this story/series? Yes. I think you should. If you have read The Nightwalkers by Jacqueline Frank, or even The Shadow Dwellers by Jacqueline Frank, or even Midnight Braid by Laura Adrian, you are going to like this series. Or at least I hope you are. So yes, read. Okay? Read. And this one, which I actually just finished recently. Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. Okay. Scottish Highlands, 1945. Claire Randall, a former British combat nurse, is just back from the war and reunited with her husband on a second honeymoon when she walks through a standing stone in one of the ancient circles that dot the British Isles. Suddenly, she is a Saxonal. I can't pronounce that very well. An outlander in a Scotland torn by war and raiding clans in the year of our Lord, 1743. Claire is catapulted into the intrigues of a world that threatens her life and may shatter her heart. Marooned amid danger, passion, and violence, her only chance of safety lies in Jamie Fraser, a gallant young Scots warrior. What begins in compulsion becomes urgent need, and Claire finds herself torn between two very different men in two irreconcilable lives. What made me read this book? It was suggested to me by one of my viewers, so I bought the book and read it. This is part of a series called Outlander, and there's 8 books, and yes, it is actually a TV series. People apparently like the TV series. What did I think about the book? For what it was, I enjoyed it. But not enough to continue the series. But that's just me, okay? You might actually enjoy it to continue. Who knows? Not me, okay? But did this live up to my expectations? Yes, this lived up to my expectations, but the preview for the second book I did not like the way the second book was read to become, because I read the back of the second book. Haven't purchased it yet, but I was looking up on Amazon what the back of the blurb would say, and that didn't really impress me all that much. So I don't think I'm going to continue the series. But I did enjoy this book here. Should you go and read the story/series? If you are interested in the Scotland Highlands in the 1743s and into a time-traveling woman who actually jumps between the past and the present, her present in the past, to help the Scots survive, the Scott clans survive in some way, shape, or form, or to help her husband survive, you might enjoy this for what it is. Give it a try. can't say just because I don't want to continue the series, even though I did enjoy this book, doesn't mean you won't. If you want to read, watch the TV series first and then come and read the book. Do what you do. Just have fun with it and enjoy it, okay? That's basically all there is to it. So, yeah. That was the reading of my month of July. This is what I read for technically July, though, like I said, I did read all of The Hobbit in June and some of The Fellowship of the Ring in June, and I did finish Outlander in August, but I did start it in July. Just so I could get it all done within a timely fashion and continue on with what I've been doing. I would recommend all of them to read. It just depends on your flavor and your taste. It's just because I didn't enjoy something or just because I enjoyed it but I didn't want to continue something doesn't mean you're not going to. And you might not like something that I enjoyed and want to continue, like Arsène Lupin and The Darkest Night, Lords of the Underworld. I mean, like, everybody's taste is completely different, and these are just my opinions. So take them with a grain of salt if you wish to, or love them. I don't know what you want to do with them, but anyways, if you guys think I deserve a like, comment, and a lovely subscription, once you can drop it down below. I'll see you next illusion.